Hi, best friends. Welcome to the second episode of Debatable. I'm your host, Jared Petty, and today we're creating the definitive list of the top 10 MCU heroes. Our guests/contestants today. To my left, your right.
I am Jack Pattillo from Rooster Teeth Productions, co-creator of Achievement Hunter, and all-around good guy.
And I'm Greg Miller, ladies and gentlemen, currently 0-1 at Debatable. But I do want to say, Jared, I appreciate, as soon as we went off air last week, you apologized that you just gave Josh that win because you felt sorry for him.
I did. I felt very sorry for him, and I completely handed him that win. Today, I'm kind of inclined to hand Jack one.
Don't
so,
you dare do
it.
Watch
out.
Call it down the middle, Petty.
You never know what's going to happen.
Everyone. Greg's 0-2.
You can't lose too many of these. You pay my salary.
I know, right? Eventually, you got to give me one.
Yeah, I have to.
I think Marvel Cinematic Universe heroes, I'm pretty adept at talking about.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we brought this guest in for a special reason. Jack,
MCU interview.
Hey, remember who came up with the idea for MCU interview?
Jack Pattillo.
That's right. That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember that Debatable doesn't happen without your help. So go to patreon.com/kindafunny if you want to be a part of what's going on. Bronze members can do all kinds of nifty things on the show, like be a part of the Wheel of Fate. So if you want to be a part of that, again, patreon.com/kindafunny. By the way, this week, because it's our first episode, well, second episode, but first one that we're doing on this cycle, I kind of screwed up and I got all the questions off patreon.com/kindafunnygames.
You didn't screw up. It's just day one of Kinda Funny 4.0.
Yeah.
So at the very last second, I was like, oh, wait, I never gave you access like I said I would. I screwed up. Yeah. Don't worry.
Actually, that's a really great way to get a gold subscription out of me, which is how I got the Kinda Funny Games stuff.
Maybe you do that. Maybe you
totally,
get enough,
it worked. That's how I did it. Anyway, sorry about that. We'll fix that for next week. Every pick that one of our contestants makes on this top 10 list that ends up landing in the final top 5 is worth a point. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. Pretty simple formula, really. We're going to create that dynamic top 10 list, and then we're going to screw with it in all kinds of fun ways in the later rounds. We're sponsored today by Skillshare, but more about that later on. Right now, let's head straight into the great debate. Starting with our guest, Jack. Give us your first nominee, and I'm going to decide to stick it right here in the middle. Then Greg's going to make a counterpoint. I'm going to put it either above or below, and we're just going to keep going that way.
Oh, man, so I'm going to say a great hero within the MCU. One of my favorites, probably the best. Go Star-Lord. Star-Lord. He's a regular dude. He's from Missouri. Got taken up by an alien, abducted him, pulled him to another planet. He became a Ravager. Yondu's his kind of father, his daddy. Excuse me, not his father, his daddy. You know, he went on. He saved the universe. He held a Power Stone. With
in his help of other people. Let's not just give him all the credit.
Not to mention that his father is a god. Is one of just how many Celestials? So he's half god, half Earthling, which brings him back down to our area. He's human.
Sure.
He's human, half human at least. And and he's got friends with a tree, a raccoon, a green skin woman, Drax.
Very compelling argument here.
Yeah.
You're coming in loaded. You are loaded for bear.
I'm ready to go.
Because his dad's a god, that's a compelling argument?
Absolutely. If my dad were a god, wouldn't you be a little more impressed by me?
I'd be impressed with you, but would you be one of the top heroes, Jared? That's what I ask. Would you be one of the top heroes in the MCU?
All right, well, let's trump Star-Lord.
I love Star-Lord. I love Guardians. Everybody knows that. But of course, they operate in a gray area. Are they going to do some good, some bad, a little bit of both? That's not what a hero talks like. All right.
You want to know
who? Oh, of course I want shenanigans, but you can get into shenanigans and still be a true blue hero. And I'm going with the big guns to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. Agent Phil Coulson.
Ooh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Phil Coulson. Do I need to even run through this man's resume of what he's done for us? First off, he's the guy who has to put up with Tony Stark in the very beginning. That first Iron Man, trying to get in there, to talk to Tony and Pepper, to let them know, hey, things are happening here. We know you're getting crazy and you're the Iron Man. We need help. We got a long name. He puts up with all sorts of people talking down to him. He puts up with all Tony Stark not listening to him. And then as it goes on, he puts up with going to New Mexico. You know what I mean? Okay. Just driving a car out to the middle of New Mexico looking for a hammer.
You just lost so many best friends from New Mexico.
And I know I'm joking. What if they don't know? You know what I mean? Come on. If they probably weren't behind me on Gremlins the New Batch either. What I'm saying, though, is that Phil Coulson has no superpowers and is the only one not taken out by Loki's diabolical scheme in the Avengers, right? Everybody else is fighting amongst each other, totally distracted and don't know what's going on. Phil Coulson, the only one who's brave enough to go after Loki with no powers on his own, fire off that shot at the very end and knock him out. Still, give his life I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Tahiti. That's a beautiful place. Now, Coulson, please.
What?
He's not a superhero. He doesn't do anything.
Hero.
He brings them together.
No,
he's a manager.
Heroes.
He's a manager. He's a mid-level manager. Nick Fury's his boss. He's just a little mid-level guy.
And he gets out there and he saves the day and he operates with all these people who can't put together a team to save their lives.
Nick Fury has to show up with playing cards that he then dipped in Coulson blood to make it a bigger deal.
I'm not arguing that Nick Fury's a good person or the top hero in the Marvel Universe.
So, leaning into this, I'm a huge fan of Edith Hamilton's seminal literary work, Mythology, which is about Greek, Roman, and for my interest most especially, Nordic mythology, where she points out that to be a true hero, you have to have vulnerability. And Coulson definitely has vulnerability. As much as I enjoy Star-Lord, I'm moving Coulson above. I'm moving Coulson above. Coulson now above Star-Lord. That was round 1. Round 2 of 5 initial rounds. Greg Miller, you start this time, and you, my friend, take the spot of Mark Antony. This is Marcus Brutus. You go after it. You got the chance to do railing.
That's just where I stab him, right? Is what you're saying?
If you wish. Actually, it was Cassius that, well, Brutus stabbed it.
Yeah.
Actually, Mark Antony's the only one who didn't
shut up.
stab.
I thought you were talking about Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband, Mark Antony. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so many heroes in the Marvel Universe, aren't there? How would you pick one, right? But let's go with someone who not only was selfless, but had a character arc, and development, all right?
Yeah, they all had character art, but
We're talking, of course, about Quicksilver. Now, I know you all want to boo me out of the room. Oh, he's got a bad accent. Oh, the Quicksilver in the X-Men universe is better. This man starts as a villain. Now, first off, starts as a villain in our eyes. Why? What drives him, right? Love of country, love of his family, pain. We all can deal with that. He's Batman on a worse day. Then, throughout this, he's able to see the error of his ways alongside his sister, the Scarlet Witch. And at the end, when he sees Hawkeye giving his all, hanging it all out there, being a true Avenger, a man he doesn't like, he's able to run over there. And I bet you didn't see that coming. We all felt for him in that moment, right?
No, I felt nothing.
Not at all.
I had a shot at getting
Jack, what do you got?
No, Quicksilver, come on, nothing. Anyway. No, the hero is someone that has brains and also bronze. And they can stand up, they can fight anyone, they go toe-to-toe, either in a math test or in a straight-up punching match. The hero is the Hulk. Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Bruce Banner can go toe-to-toe with Tony Stark when it comes to brains. They work together to create Vision, one of the greatest superheroes ever. It's their brain combined, as well as who was in the arena in Ragnarok. How many years was he there? He ran it. He's a superhuman being. He's the Hulk.
Sure, he's super strong. He's a coward.
He
doesn't even show up when we need him in Infinity War.
Who else fought Thanos mano a mano? No one.
Captain America grabbed his hand for a second.
They threw 7 Avengers at him. Couldn't do anything. Tony Stark, it took him everything he had to get one little drop of blood.
Let's remove it away. Okay, let's even remove Infinity War. All right, yes, he's able to go toe-to-toe and then be a complete coward and not show back up. He does the exact same thing at Age of Ultron too, right? The going got rough. He climbed in his little plane and flew away.
Because he knew that he was bad news. He
is bad news, not a hero. Point Greg Miller.
No, he's a hero. He left the planet because he was afraid of what he might do.
Ladies
he was
and
so powerful.
The list as it now reads. At the top, Agent Coulson.
Yeah.
Just below, Star-Lord. Below him, the Hulk.
This is
below him, Quicksilver.
This is outrageous.
Will likely remain at the bottom of this
list. Character development, all right? Get beyond the accent and think, Jared. Just open your mind for a second.
I like character development.
It does sound like you do.
Of character development.
You like the Hulk? What's he do? He just runs. He's nothing.
No, he's got a lot of character development. That's one of the things I actually kind of like about the Norton movie. I mean, that's what it's strong on. Weak on action, strong on character development.
There we go.
Kevin approves. There we go.
Well, that stuff really plays into the MCU.
2 different actors play the same
character. Exactly. Jack, what you got?
Cowards. Every one of you.
One of my favorite things about a hero is someone that will put others in front of them and do everything they can to save everyone around them. A huge key of that is someone who doesn't have superpowers. It's the Black Widow. Black Widow has guns and shock bracelets, and yet she is right in the middle of everything. She's in New York City fighting off all those crazy creatures that they're just coming out of a portal in the sky. She's in the middle of it. She's like, all right, let's go fight. I'm next to Captain America. This guy is a human god, essentially, and I'm going toe-to-toe with him. That's amazing. That is a hero right there.
To counteract Black Widow, right? She's got red in her ledger. She's done bad things.
And she's made an arc. She's doing good things.
She's doing an arc. No, I agree. Good use of the arc.
Yeah, there you go.
Jared, remember, arcs are important. Maybe
Arcs are important. I like arcs.
Very, very
I like
important.
arcs.
You know what I mean?
Your problem was not the arc. Your problem was, like Icarus, you flew a little too close to the sun and melted like an overnight startup in San Francisco. Like that was what happened there.
Okay. No, what I'm going to counteract Scarlet Witch with is Steve Rogers, Captain America. You know what I mean? A hero through and through. There's no denying this. We see it in Captain America, the First Avenger. Even when he is just Steve Rogers, picking up the shield, trying to take care of it, wants to go fight in the Great War, right? Because he just wants to do what's right. He understands that if his friends are out there dying, he needs to be a part of that. And that's another thing. In a character arc, in development, you can't look at Captain America and not see it, right? As he does wrestle with being a G-man, a yes-man, right? Moving on, having to do all these different things. But then as we get deeper and deeper into it, as we get into Winter Soldier, as we get into Civil War, having to deal with the government turning and moving away from where he wants it to be.
Concisely, because both of these characters are going above Star-Lord here.
Sure,
just under Coulson, just above Star-Lord. One sentence from each of you on why Black Widow should be above Captain America, why Captain America should be above Black Widow. Go, Jack.
She fights without superpowers and the knowledge that she could die at any moment.
Greg Miller.
We don't trade lives.
What does that even mean?
Captain America from Infinity War.
I know.
That shows the tenor of his character. She's got red in her ledger, right? She's made the bad moves before. Cap knows that I mean, like, even though they did, well, I guess we're talking about MCU. I can't use this. I can't use plant yourself like a tree, right? Because Sharon does that.
I'm going with Natasha on this one.
What?
Boom.
What? That is the most outrageous thing ever said on this show, and we're only 2 episodes in.
I know.
Boom.
So we're going to build from there. We're going to build.
Miss Romanoff.
Dislike
Really,
you.
is that
Good
worse?
job.
Is that worse than Gremlins 2, the new batch?
No, because that's a great movie.
Okay, yeah, there we are. All right. Captain America. So right now the list. Coulson, Black Widow, Captain America, Star-Lord, Hulk, Quicksilver. Don't worry, folks. This is going to get turned all around before we are done. Kevin, you are totally not supposed to cut to that camera. All right, here we go. Back from there. The director is mad with
I thought you
power.
were talking directly to the kids.
Huh? I was, but we're
Is
still
it
not
an
supposed to
intro
do
or an
it.
outro, though?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there we go. All right. What's that?
Nothing.
Don't worry about it. Headed back, round 4 of the initial 5. Greg Miller.
Round 4. How many do we have on the list right now?
We have 6 on the list.
Okay.
It's time to make that dynamic.
Do I want to start getting serious? You know what I mean?
With Captain America getting serious.
Well, you can always hold one out for that final round, because you're always welcome to either move somebody up the list, steal from an opponent.
I get extra points then too if I steal, right?
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's definitely a strategic decision. But I'm a fickle dark god, so who knows what might happen.
All right, let's do it, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, what you got?
Spider-Man. Peter Parker.
Shocking.
What? You didn't think he's gonna be on the list?
Shocking.
What is it? Wait, you wouldn't put him on your list at all?
Fanboy.
Oh my God, Jared! I want every one of this Jack Pattillo man's recommendations taken with a grain of salt right now, because we all know Spider-Man's amazing, right? We know it. He's spectacular. We know it. He's friendly. We know it. He's neighborhood. What you got to know about Spider-Man is summed up, I think, in his first real interaction with Iron Man, right? Tony Stark in his own bedroom. Creepy, I know.
Technically, first interaction was at the Stark Festival.
All right, they did right. That in.
Just saying. Just saying.
Pattillo with the knowledge bomb.
Well, it's true. Well, okay, anyways. His first words, the first words Peter ever says to Tony. Are we happy with that?
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fair. But good call. Is, of course, the conversation of why do you do this, right? And he just says, basically, right, when the bad things happen and you don't do anything, it's your fault. That's what's driving Spider. And granted, it's great power, great responsibility. We know that, right? But it is, you see this throughout the movies we've seen him in so far, whether it be Civil War, whether it be Homecoming, or whether it be Infinity War, right? Where Infinity War, not even thinking, right? Like, he jumps out of the bus, off the bridge, and he's off to help what's going on. Doesn't even know it's going to be Iron Man. Then when he does, he climbs up, and, Tony's like, go after the spaceship kid, right? Go after the doctor. He takes it up into space, totally risking his life, not thinking it, being selfless. At no point thinking, I should bounce out of here. And even when he gets the suit that's going to take him home, he stops that because he knows Tony needs help.
I like that. Now, Jack, before you respond, I need to let you know what a difficult strait you're in here. Unlike most of the universe, and this has come up on our shows before,
Yes.
I didn't particularly enjoy Civil War.
Okay.
Okay, that was not a film I enjoyed.
Okay.
But the
Or Winter
presence,
Soldier, right?
or Winter Soldier,
Yes,
but,
ma'am.
Wow, all right.
but the presence of Spider-Man
Or
in
Captain
Civil
America.
War single-handedly redeems a good portion of that movie for me. If I
Okay.
could just watch every scene with Spider-Man in it, and that be the whole movie,
You
I'm
start
happy.
at Queens and go from there?
I love
Okay.
the depiction. Homecoming, One of my all-time favorite superhero movies. So I want you to know what you're up against here. If you were thinking about holding out, now's not the time, unless you just want to surrender this round.
No, I just want to tell you that Peter Parker was a lucky punk-ass kid.
Oh my God,
He just
Jack.
randomly got hit by a radioactive spider. Well, actually,
technically you bit him. You get hit by it.
technically, we don't even know yet because we even know his origin story is true or
You
just
know
not
it.
in the MCU. We don't know it. We don't know his origin story in the MCU. What did Peter Parker do as soon as he got the fancy-ass suit from Stark? He went and he hacked it. He couldn't even be.
Not right away. He did it for a little bit.
Oh, okay,
He
a little
hung
bit. He took this multi-million-dollar suit, got priceless suit, got his friend. First of all, couldn't keep his mouth quiet. Told his friend who he was, or his friend found out immediately.
Jack Pattillo, I find your argument spurious.
I don't even know what that means.
Neither do I.
Okay.
So,
I was just using a big word.
Spider-Man.
Nod like I knew.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, now Coulson's a powerful argument. I love
Yeah.
that.
Thank you for that.
But Spider-Man is, I think, the undisputed king of the Marvel universe. However,
I'm fighting two
Oh,
people.
no, he said, however.
I'm actually going to put him below Coulson because Coulson gave his life, because Coulson didn't have powers, because Coulson heroed up, because Coulson's so darn amusing. Spider-Man hasn't had quite the tenure in this universe that
Fair.
Coulson
Oh,
did.
fair. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
So
you're
number
going with
two
the
after...
Marvel
Jack, your counterpoint. Who you going
No,
for?
there's no counterpoint, is there?
Who you going
No,
for?
that was my counterpoint.
Okay.
It's my turn to go.
Yeah, it's his turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, everybody.
How
I
dare
interrupted.
you,
I
Greg
interrupted as he was
Miller.
endeavoring to disassemble your argument.
Disassemble.
If we're talking tenure, I'm bringing out the big gun. Tony Stark, Iron Man. Tony Stark, Iron Man is by far the most powerful hero in the MCU. He's been there literally since square one, day one. We're not counting Eric Bana and that whole bullshit. It's
Literally doesn't count. Yeah.
Tony Stark has been there, built the first reactor out of a box of scraps in a cave. And then from there, look what he's done. He's had so many arcs. He went from being the kind of the playboy philanthropist, billionaire, to he was the one who shot the missile into outer space and took out the bad guys. He saved New York City, almost died in the process. He was the one that, he wasn't going to take the bullet. He was going to be the one to take that shot. It was him. He stepped up and did it. Then your boy Spider-Man, he took him right under his wing. He's like, I'm going to make you what I should have been. I'm going to make you better about it. And then Spider-Man hacked his shit anyway. But he's doing everything he can. Everyone there. He's the reason for Civil War, yes. But he's the reason for Civil War for good reasons. Because he doesn't want collateral damage. He knows that the government at some point is going to step in and say, hey, you guys can't just go around protecting the planet. You need some kind of oversight. He understood that and he's like, let's take steps. Cap got in his way and he's like, all right, well, this is what's going to happen. Tony Stark is a genius. He's the only one who operates the Iron Man suit, which is crazy. He's just a dude. Like he's there's no superpowers there. He's
You
a
don't count
guy.
War Machine?
He's a guy in a
Iron
metal
Patriot?
suit.
Greg Miller,
different.
counterpoint.
I mean, here's the thing. Would we have the MCU without Iron Man and Tony Stark? Of course not. But does that make him the top hero?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You want to talk about character arcs and development, it takes a long time before we get to where Tony Stark is in Homecoming or anything, being Spider-Man under his wing. I agree, that's all amazing, right? But Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 just keep resetting everything that makes Iron Man, right? He just gets drunk in parties in Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3 is like, I don't know if he blows up all his suits, and then guess what? In Avengers 2, I got all my suits back. I'm just still being this.
I will say Iron Man 3 is incredible because it shows something that you don't see for other superheroes, and that Tony Stark has problems. He has PTSD. He's going through shit and deals with it. And he
Agreed.
comes
This
out of
is
the
one
other
of
side. It's
my reasons I
amazing.
love Iron Man 3, and I wish it ever got touched on again, but it doesn't, because guess what? Tony Stark doesn't develop.
Ladies and gentlemen, lots of powerful, compelling arguments here. Tony Stark is indeed the star of the worst of the MCU movies, Iron Man 2. But he's also in the extraordinarily underrated and very interesting Iron Man 3. To kick things off in Iron Man 1. And more importantly, he's the guy in the front of the Avengers posters. And that's a very, very powerful thing. I would argue that Greg has a point that in his earlier depictions, his character development is inconsistent. However, over the arc of this extended television series that is the MCU, he's the person that changes the most. Tony Stark is the number one.
What? I haven't even given you my person I want to argue against.
Well, that's because that was the end of round
mine.
4.
That was the end of round 4.
Was it?
Yeah.
This show's so much fun, I get distracted.
Final
Oh my
counter.
God.
Round 5
Look.
starting with Jack.
All right.
Current list stands from the bottom, Quicksilver. Above him, Hulk, Star-Lord, Captain America, Black Widow, Spider-Man, Agent Coulson, Iron Man.
Man, there's so many amazing characters in the MCU.
There are.
So many amazing characters. you got to go with one. You got to go with an immortal. You got to go with Thor. Thor is an absolutely amazing hero. He's gone out of his way. He's had all of his power stripped in the first movie. Kenneth Branagh, by the way, great movie. He's watched his friends die in front of him. His mother has died. His father has died. He's still fighting. He's lost literally everything. His brothers died. I mean, literally, there's an amazing speech with him and Rocket in Civil War where he's talking about, like, what else do I have to lose?
I don't deserve points for that.
It's absolutely incredible. Thor shows up. He's a cocky playboy, like God, essentially, ready to take over the throne. And his dad's like, no, screw you. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for this power. Gets banished to Earth. Earns his stay. He earns his keep. He saves that New Mexico and comes back. I got you.
New Mexico.
I got you, Santa Fe. Love you. And Thor, and also Ragnarok, one of the most radical changes in tone and style of any MCU movie, and it just was absolutely incredible. Taika Waititi made an amazing film. Jeff Goldblum. Anytime you throw a Jeff, where else has Jeff Goldblum been in the MCU? Technically Guardians too, but he was in the credits.
Yeah,
but
dancing.
Anyway, but yes. So anytime you get Jeff Goldblum in a Thor movie, that's fantastic. Thor, he keeps fighting. He's the only one. He literally put himself in front of a star. He reignited a dying star to make a weapon in order to try to kill Thanos. Sure. He did the most damage to Thanos than anyone, and I've got a feeling that he's going to do even more in the next movie. But Thor, best hero.
Remember, you gave Hulk was one of your picks because, of course, he could go toe to toe with Thanos.
True.
So I guess Thor could too. So maybe that should be reflected in the points. No big deal.
Hand to hand.
Thor wouldn't even be on this fucking list if it wasn't for Ragnarok. All right, he wasted our time for quite a few movies of just being a boring, hunky, delicious-looking man. You know what I mean? And just being there and having
points for delicious-looking man.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Point Break hair and all this stuff.
What's wrong with? I mean, a lot of people like a good, delicious-looking man.
That's what I'm saying. That's all he added. He was just eye candy for a long time, all right? And then finally they let Chris Hemsworth off the leash. And there you go. Thor Ragnarok's great, and Infinity War builds on that, of course, to the Thor we love now. But what I'm saying is he wasted our time for so many movies. And that's why we're going to talk about my final pick here before we get to the wheels and the Vitas and everything else, right? It's how do we define a hero, Jared? Is it not a person who will make the tough decisions? And if we're talking about the best hero in the MCU, right, is it not going to be a person that doesn't waste our time like Thor? What if I told you there is one man in the MCU so driven by his vision that in one movie he becomes one of your most unbelievable to watch characters? Ladies and gentlemen, Thanos did nothing wrong. Every great villain
knew you were going to do this.
Great villain believes he is the
please.
hero. And let's think this through and just talk it for a second. Just talk for a second, all right? Put all judgments aside.
Okay.
The universe is spiraling out of control. There is not enough resources for the amount of people. No one will make the hard decision of what to do, how to do this. He comes up with this idea. Wipe out half the people. Random. Remind you, it's random. It's not that he's going to pick and choose, you know what I mean? He could have snapped, guess what? And all the Avengers were dead. He didn't. He snapped and said, I'm going to let the dice go. It's going to be random. I'm going to try to save this. And when it's all said and done, he is a man of his word. And he just goes and farms, enjoys the day. He is being driven by a singular vision. And again, for all the movies Thor wasted, for all the times Iron Man spun his wheels, Thanos in that movie, we walked away. He's still the #1 villain as well in our Ragu Bagu because we feel for him. We understand his motivations. He's a well-rounded character. He's good. He did nothing wrong in his eyes. He is the definitive hero of the MCU.
Jack, counterpoint.
Half the population of the galaxy is dead because of him. That should be
The other half will thrive. Look at Gamora's home planet.
Sure, if half of San Francisco was wiped out right now, you think San Francisco would thrive?
Oh, we have to bounce back.
It would be horrible. Yeah, it would be decades.
I didn't say it was going to be
It would ruin generations.
It's worse than killed.
Yeah, right. Killed quite possibly
You're talking about
trillions
global
of people.
warming and everything else. I'd rather take my shot with half of our world getting wiped out right now, blinked away, than sitting here waiting to be decided we're going to get blown up by a nuke.
Let's look at the nuances of this for a second.
Thank you very much,
All right.
Jared. I know
So,
you're a reasonable man.
First off, as has been suggested by many other people smarter than me, the best possible ending for Infinity War with the arc that they built would have been Thanos looking off into the sunset and then himself drifting away and the gauntlet dropping to the ground, and that being that. Him dying too because he'd included himself in the lottery. That would have been an amazing
But 50-50, you don't know. He probably did include himself. Again,
we don't know. We don't know. Where I run into trouble here is one of the logical fallacies about storytelling that makes for great movies and books, but not necessarily for great debates. It's the same question that comes in Lord of the Rings when you ask, why didn't the Eagles just carry Frodo to Mordor? Answer, because that would not have made a good book. and Tolkien acknowledged that. Same issue, if Thanos has the power to destroy all life in the universe, why not just snap his fingers and double the resources?
Oh, I've heard this argument before.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Excellent.
agree.
Do you have a counterpoint?
Well, I mean, what's he going to do? Make the planets all twice as big? Then the fucking suns are out of control.
Twice as many
There's
planets,
gravity
twice
and
as many
shit.
suns.
Oh, what? And then I'm going to go and give everybody a spaceship all at
That's
it?
still somehow less
sounds
disruptive
fun.
than killing everyone. So I as much.
Next time you're in your car yelling at some asshole on the freeway, Jared, just think, man,
Okay.
maybe Thanos had the right idea.
All right, so after all that, I think I'm going to put Thor, who I really like and who after Ragnarok, or through Ragnarok, does experience extraordinary change, and I love that character. Plus, I have a predisposition for Thor based on my childhood. So Thor's going above Black Widow, below Spider-Man. Right there in that spot. Okay. So that places him at number 4.
Okay.
Thanos is going above Quicksilver.
Fair.
But below the Hulk.
Oh my God.
That's,
The Hulk causes just as much destruction.
I gotta say, I love that Quicksilver is less of a hero than Thanos.
Quicksilver is still worse than Thanos. There's no universe where I really hope we find a way to bump him completely off this list into a new list of the top 10 lamest people I didn't care about in movies that should have been better than they were.
The Hulk ruined Harlem, we know, right?
What's that? The Hulk?
Just saying, yeah, he's not that much of a hero. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
parts of it. I mean, Harlem needed some reconstruction anyway.
I'm not touching that.
There were so many holes
I have
in this. I don't think
no,
anybody would notice.
no comment to make on anything being said there because it's been a while since I watched it and I don't remember.
Love you, New Mexico.
Love you, Harlem.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a word from our sponsors, and we come back. The Wheel of Fate.
This episode of Debatable is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in design, business, and more. Premium memberships give you unlimited access so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you and your New Year goals. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving in 2019, just like Kinda Funny's own Tim Gettys. Tim used Skillshare to learn about sound design and After Effects when he was working on all that new Kinda Funny 4.0 video you see all over our site. Skillshare is also super affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Join more than 7 million creators learning with Skillshare. The first 500 of my subscribers to use the link in the description below in this YouTube video will get a 2-month free trial. That's right. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny, click on the Debatable video, then in the description, click that Skillshare link to get 2-month free trial for the first 500 of you. Skillshare. There's no tagline, but share your skills. Don't scare them. Share your skills.
Welcome back to Debatable, and now it's time for the Wheel of Fate. Nay! I changed the name right now. The Wheel of Infinity.
Oh, because of the movies.
That's exactly because of the movies and its multicolored nature. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be part of the Wheel of Infinity on future episodes, go to kindafunny.com. No, don't do that. Go to patreon.com/kindafunny. I love saying kindafunny.com. It's just so much fun.
It's a good website.
Patreon.com/kindafunny. And become a bronze member. And you too can be a part of this. Are these bronze members today? No! These are members of Kinda Funny Games because I screwed up a little bit. But
Remember, if you go to either Patreon and you supported the gold tier, you get access to everything.
excellent. So each of you is going to spin here on the Wheel of Infinity to choose one patron to represent. I have here in my hand a list, a group of top 10 lists created by our patrons. You're going to argue for members of this list and try to make the best argument and bump some of the people off our current top 10 list.
So do we pick the member we want from their list, or are you giving? Are you
You're going
signing
to
us?
spin the wheel, and I'm going to assign somebody to you that I
Off
think
their
would be.
list.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's much more fun that way because I can be mean to you.
I agree.
Also, the list as it stands right now from the top: number 1, Iron Man; number 2, Agent Coulson; number 3, Spider-Man; number 4, Thor; number 5, Black Widow; number 6, Captain America; number 7, Star-Lord; number 8, Hulk; number 9, Thanos; number 10, Quicksilver. And apparently, ladies need not apply at this point. I mean, we got Black Widow. Wow, that's
We put toss out Scarlet Witch.
that's a
Really
pretty.
good
It's
stuff.
a, I don't know.
Wasp,
Here,
I
I'm
guess.
the-
I mean-
I don't know.
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill. She's pretty
Shout
cool.
out to Gamora.
Gamora's pretty awesome.
Not a hero.
Baddest woman in the galaxy.
Spin that wheel.
Who's spinning it first?
Yeah.
Me?
Let's have Greg Miller. Spin
Greg
it
Miller.
this time.
Spin the wheel. God.
Let it go, Jack. Let it go. You never know what'll happen. Undebatable. Available on podcast services, by the way, too.
It is available on
Today
podcast
it went up.
services.
You
That's
can-
right. Yeah, you can watch
subscribe and
it.
all
Does
that
this
shit.
wheel stop?
Yep, it's audio, it's
I don't even
video, it's
tighten it.
everywhere
That's
you
the
want
last
to
one.
be. You can
How many do this?
eventually
I'm not
watch
gonna
live
stop
on
it.
Twitch.
Okay.
We haven't quite
Slow her
settled that
down,
yet.
slowing her
but-
down,
Okay,
slowing her down,
okay.
slowing her down,
Okay,
slowing her
there we
down.
go.
What do we got? What do we
I don't
got?
know where
Looking
to see.
good.
Oh, it's still going. Slowing her down, slowing her
Some
down.
WD-40 in there?
What's that?
I got Luke Pattinson? Patterson?
Luke
Patterson.
Pattinson.
Luke Pattillo.
Greg Miller.
Yeah.
I hand you the opportunity to argue for the Marvel Cinematic Universe's greatest hero, Loki.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
Jack.
You mean to spin now?
Yep.
All right. I'm not going to spin it as hard as you because we
tightened it. I
we saw
tightened
what
it.
happened.
you get?
I've got Drew Milken.
Drew Milken.
We gotta work on your handwriting, Jay. We all get to the last name. We're like,
Got the D, and then, you know.
Drew Milken representing Black Panther.
Black Panther.
I never these.
Loki versus Black Panther. Only one will survive. Jack, why don't you start off?
I mean, come on, he's a king. He watched his father die in front of him, and then took the mantle, became king of an entire country, while also becoming the champion of that country. He's not only the Black Panther, he's the king of Wakanda. Please, who can do that? Who can run? Who can be like Greg Miller? You can't be a superhero and also run kind of funny at the same time. It's just impossible. That's literally too much to do. And yet T'Challa, he does it. He does it everything. He does it all.
Does he? Or he's a lot of people just telling him what he should do, and he just does it.
He's a badass.
And his sister's way smarter.
Who was the one going?
and he's a
He was going
daddy's
after
boy.
Claw. Come on, he's the one fighting. He's diving in. He's taking out these small guys. He's going crazy, protecting his entire country and taking on the mantle of Black Panther and doing lots and lots of damage. I mean, also like when it came down to where can we hide Vision, where'd they go? Wakanda, because that's the safest place on the planet.
Is it the safest place on the planet because of Black Panther?
Exactly.
Is he a good
I mean,
king?
I think he's a good king. People
He's a
seem.
good
I mean,
king?
like people seem to
Still
look
haven't
up
got
to
that
him.
Starbucks.
I mean, M'Baku went after him, and he fought him, and he was so respectful of the king that he allowed him to keep his mantle, even though he was dying right there. He could have killed the king in his own, like right there in that little snow pit. He could have stabbed him in the heart. That'd have been it, and then he could have taken over the king if he wanted to.
Black Panther, inarguably a great hero.
Yes, absolutely, a
And
great hero.
becomes a good king, I think, as the
I
movie.
think so. Even when he was fighting Killmonger at the end, he tried to save him, and Killmonger chose to die. He wanted to protect him and
But
say,
are
like,
these
let me help
kingly
you.
duties, or are these just hero duties? I still haven't seen him step up to the mantle here of I'm the king. This is what's it about.
I think
his
so.
dad, well respected, spoke at the UN.
Then counterpoint, the schwarmiest of all Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, and also the strangely most like weird, kind of slimy erotic,
Loki?
Loki.
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
thought you were talking about Greg.
I'm glad you brought up, how he gets points, Black Panther, for being a king. Of course, Loki, the rightful heir to Jotunheim, as we all know. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Again, in character development, this is what it's all about, right? Loki does go from being the bad guy, right? He is Thor's greatest villain in the first Thor movie, and then of course into Avengers and all that stuff. But we see him change, and not only do we see him change, we see his motivations change, right? Till we get to the penultimate moment, his final moments on Earth space, when he's up there against Thanos, right? And he talks about being the heir to Jotunheim, being an Odin's son, which is such a huge moment when he makes eye contact with Thor.
That would actually be the ultimate moment, not the penultimate moment.
Well, that's what his penultimate moment is. That's what I say.
Ah, okay.
Because these are the moments before his final moment where he's
Okay, I
choked
get
to
it.
death.
My apologies. Very well done.
Thank
you know
you very
what?
much.
That's what I get for policing grammar.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Well, nobody can win because it's debatable. He makes the right moves there, right? And he comes back and he says what he needs to say. And we see that in Thor Ragnarok as well, right? Where he's being smarmy, he's being Loki. But again, he could turn and kill Bruce Banner whenever he wants to, but he doesn't because he is on the right side of justice here. He is becoming the hero. This is a hero's story that ends with him being the hero, unlike so many of the people Jack have recommended. He brings up so many people that aren't heroes. Loki ends being a hero.
I think we're good there.
How many people did Loki kill in New York City? Jesus Christ.
Oh, remember?
What?
No, they all evacuated the block. It was a big deal.
That's what it was.
'Cause,
Yeah.
no, DC, those movies
no
get all
one was
sorts of shit for
harmed.
people dying.
Yeah. I'm sure Loki didn't also murder a whole bunch of people.
How many people does Captain America kill? It happens.
He killed Nazis.
Well,
You trying to protect Nazis now, Greg?
when you're talking about Loki versus the humans, there's good side. There's people. Damn it, there's good people on both sides.
Loki's a fascinating arc, and that's why. So I really love Black Panther, but he's not had as many opportunities to shine yet, and that's just the long history of the series playing in Loki's favor. Loki's a character who, in his first appearance, a man stands up in comparison to Nazism and faces him down.
Sure.
He looks at him as ultimate evil. I will not bow before you. I will not kneel before you. I've done that, or I've seen people do that. It's not going to happen here in Germany again. He goes from that to a guy who, still satiating his own ego, I am here to save you, coming down out of this, and then, but you see him quite knowingly give his life trying to save his brother. That's odd.
But only once he hit the point where he knew he had nothing else to give. If he could say, if you kill Thor, I'm fine, he probably would have said, go ahead and kill Thor. Like, Loki was always looking for that out. He was always him first before anyone else, and that's not what a hero does.
But here, he wasn't really going to have him kill Thor. It was just him buying time to do his next little plan.
He turned over the
He's
cube.
the trickster. Well,
He was always trying to get out.
Because they thought they can get it back. They can get everything back.
Yeah, he's got the
Here's what I'm going to
stuff.
say is Loki succeeded in giving his life for someone he loved. Black Panther failed. He didn't run that hard to get to his dad in Civil War when the bomb's going. He's like,
Okay.
Oh no, the bomb.
I love both of these characters, and it's undeniable. It's undeniable that Black Panther is the more pure hero. However,
Absolutely. Undeniable is the word. You go ahead and put it on the list.
at this point, I think that Loki's arc is more the Marvel hero arc of redemption.
Exactly.
And therefore, I think when we see Loki again, he'll be a hero. I think we'll see him again. I think he'll be a hero.
Yeah, Disney streaming
Yes,
service.
exactly.
Subscribe now.
Exactly. I will place Loki just below his equally interesting brother Thor,
Ooh.
and above Black Widow,
Son of a bitch.
You're a fair man, Jared.
which bounces Quicksilver completely off the top 10 list. So let's talk about the top 10 as it stands right now. Currently, from the bottom, number 10, Thanos. Number 9, The Incredible Hulk. Number 8, Star-Lord. Number 7, Captain America. Number 6, Black Widow. Number 5, Loki. Number 4, Thor. Number 3, Spider-Man. Number 2, Agent Coulson. Number 1, Iron Man. Currently, the top 5, where the points are, that leaves Greg Miller 3, Jack 2. But that's not the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's time for the Vita Vita. We need a theme song for this, I think. If you have a Vita Vito theme song, please send it on in. All right. Vita Vito, ladies and gentlemen, here's how this works. Once again, patrons from Kinda Funny, I did it again, patreon.com/kindafunny. You can give us a trivia question. I select this one from patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Looking down here,
Wait, what happens if they get the question right?
If you get the question right, we're going to ask the person who's behind the question. If you get the question right, then right there you get to knock an opponent's list, or knock an opponent's choice right off the list and replace it with your own. Yep. So you can bump one of yours up and knock theirs all the way to the bottom. So Jack, a lot is riding on this for you. Are you ready?
I think so. Bring
3
it
to
on.
2. The person who's behind this, your chance. And there's one final round of this. This isn't quite the end of the game.
Okay.
From Sanchez 801 on Patreon. How many rings on Captain America's shield?
Oh, shit. How many rings? 5.
I'm sorry, Jack, but we were looking for 3. The red, white, and red rings of Captain America's
only 3?
shield.
Really?
I mean, that's what the question says. I don't know. I didn't ask me.
Captain America throws his
Do we have an
mighty
image?
shield.
Is there any way Kevin can make an image pop
We
up?
have the shield here somewhere.
Is he testing?
What's
Are
that?
you calling it? Are you challenging the Vita Vito?
The Vita
That
Vito.
blows me away.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
that's
3 rings.
Oh, yeah.
that.
I was thinking that the blue threw me off. The blue in the
Yeah.
middle threw me off.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Son
3
of a
rings.
bitch.
That happens to a lot of fake fans.
I'm sorry, Jack. When I saw that, there were a lot of great questions, but that
Damn,
one
that's
just
a
seemed
great question.
Yeah, wonderfully like it messed with my brain.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
because you see it so much.
Who was it again?
Sanchez 801. Good
Sanchez, you're a bastard. Good question.
Really appreciate it. Great question.
Great question.
So,
Damn
Jack, you're rapidly falling behind here. Good thing there's one last chance in the final countdown. Kevin, are you prepared with the 60-second timer?
No.
I love it. So,
Hold on.
I'm sorry. While Kevin preps that,
Oh, yeah.
Can you give me the top 5 one more time to see who's in it?
Number 5, Loki.
Yes.
Number 4, Thor. Number 3, Spider-Man. Number 2, Agent Coulson. Number 1, Iron Man. That's who we got
As
right
it
now.
should be.
Yep, that's the list. So here's how this works. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the final round, each of these guys is going to have 60 seconds and only 60 seconds to make their argument for why any of these heroes should, in fact, pretty much belong to them. Elevate them, lift them up. Greg can steal from Jack, Jack can steal from Greg, they can pull somebody out of their pocket they haven't used yet, they can re-argue from somebody from before. Anything they want to do, that pick becomes theirs if they win that argument.
What were Jack's 2 again? I'm sorry.
Iron Man
Gotcha.
which he's not going any higher than 1. So, and then
Thor.
Thor.
Thank you.
Yep. So that's if you want to steal, or you pull somebody you've been hiding out of your pocket. There's a lot of ways to approach this. Yes, the steal can completely reverse the game. I get that.
Cool.
But sometimes introducing your own fresh idea could be a little more.
So this is only raising, not bringing down.
All you're doing is arguing. Like, I mean, if you want to seize Spider-Man and move him above Coulson, if you think you can make that argument, or if you can move Coulson above Iron Man, that becomes your pick. All right? Or you can just introduce somebody new and hope to bump the whole list down one place and keep your spot. Because if you bump Loki off the list...
Yeah. So if I get 1 in the top 5,
yeah. And
I will then have 3.
60 seconds. Greg Miller, you're going to make the argument first time. Kevin, are we ready with the timer?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate. Greg Miller, go.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have criminally underestimated Thor. Yes, you know him as Odin's son. Yes, we all did not like his first couple movies. They are bad. But the thing is, Ragnarok put him back on the map. We saw him build into Avengers. We saw him become the true God of Thunder. Jared, you know it as well as I. He is now the most powerful Avenger, bar none. There is no argument. The lightning shooting from his eyes, wielding his new axe hammer, slamming it into Thanos' chest, the ability to call down the Bifrost whenever he wants. He is a god, finally. Because he did start his first movie, no powers, earn him way back, right? There was all the stuff of him back and forth, fighting all sorts of cool, interesting things. But now, like, remember Anthony Hopkins, like, what are you the god of again? Or no, that was Hela. Remember when Hela was like, what are you the god of again? And then he brings down the lightning. Like, he is a comic book character now. Everybody's been a hero forever, but Thor is the MCU's first superhero, and that makes all the difference.
Compelling argument, Greg Miller. By the way, it was both Hela and... look at that!
Whoa,
Nice!
Geez.
Thank you. Yeah, I got confused. Anthony Hopkins did say that one
Yeah,
point to
so
him, right?
Hela's like, Hela mocks him, and then Anthony, she's like, mocking him, then he's like, you're the god of Thor, the god of hammers?
Yeah, that's
like freaking
Hela
rad.
is so awesome.
Yeah, it's a great moment.
What a great fucking character.
All right.
She's a top hero.
Jack, your retort. Kevin, are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's talk about comic books. Let's talk about comic book movies. Let's talk about a comic book hero named Vision. Vision is by far the most comic booky hero within the MCU, but he is absolutely a hero. You're all about Thor and about how he's a badass, how he's got a hammer. Guess who else has picked up that hammer like it was nothing? Like it was just a paperweight. Vision walked up, grabbed that thing, and was like, oh yeah, this is mine. Vision is an Infinity Stone. He literally is part Tony Stark, part Jarvis, part Vision. He's one thing, all made into one, and he's here to protect humanity. He's fallen in love with humanity. He's fallen in love with Scarlet Witch. He is we don't even know what he is. He is a robot. He is a crystal. He is an Infinity Stone. He might be part human. He's part AI, yet he's all hero, all hearts. He's protecting people. He destroyed his own creator in Ultron, and he's going to destroy Thanos in some form or fashion because he's coming back, and he's going to take Thanos down.
Jack! Vision is boring. Thor is interesting.
I won Debatable.
Fuck you, Josh McCouga. I won Debatable.
Damn it.
Our definitive top 10 list. Our definitive top 10 list reads as follows. Number 1, Iron Man.
That's still mine.
Number 2, Agent Coulson. Number 3, the mighty Thor. Number 4, Spider-Man. Number 5, Loki. Number 6, Black Widow. Number 7, Captain America. Number 8, Star-Lord. Number 9, Hulk. And I'm sticking Vision at number 10 to bump Thanos out.
I was really hoping we get Thanos in there. I was really hoping we get
There
Thanos
we
in
go.
All
So,
right.
That is
a good
our
list.
definitive ranking. Jack, where did it all go wrong?
Man, I don't know. I mean, you threw Captain America in there.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts getting tricky. You are the biggest Spider-Man fanboy on the planet. So arguing against Spider-Man for you, and apparently you're a huge Thor fan, so he just scooped that out from underneath me.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
so
I'm a
that
huge
was
Thor fan.
unfortunate right there. Also, coming into Greg Miller's turf is a little bit tricky too. This is your realm. You
I've done. Yeah, you haven't even seen a Debatable yet. They're not live yet. You haven't seen this one.
And so, but
I'm just awesome.
All in all, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I'm still. He might have 2 through 5, but I've got number 1 still. Iron Man lives right there on top.
And that was my thing. Honestly, is like the highway robbery of this list is that Cap isn't even in the top 5.
Yeah.
Like I was prepared to make it, but that's why I was like, wait.
Yeah.
What did? Oh, I can't argue because if I moved Cap up, it just would have moved Loki down, and it wouldn't have helped me out.
Yeah, it wouldn't help. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So
I was either the.
This is a good game, Jared.
Good
I
fun
felt
game.
a good game.
We did this together.
I wanted to go through. It was either I was going to do for the last round. I was either going to do Cap or I threw the Hail Mary one for Vision. I was like, all right, let's try someone different. And so there you go.
Yeah, I wish you would earlier because I was all set. I was like, he's just a talking vibrator. he has all infinite power. All he does is fuck. He doesn't save anybody.
Oh my
Dr.
gosh.
Manhattan of the MCU.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this top 10 list of MCU heroes will be enshrined in the Kind of Funny Hall of Fame now and forever. It is certified and endorsed by the Kind of Funny Institute of Pop Culture and the Higher Sciences. And you were a part of making it. If you want to be a part of it next week, once again, patreon.com/kindoffunny or patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Be a part of the action. Thank you for allowing us to do what we do. Gentlemen, until next time, this has been Debatable.